Imagine a single building that contained the sum of all human knowledge. Every scroll, every poem, every mathematical theorem, medical discovery that had ever been written down. What if I told you that we lost more knowledge in a single day than humanity had accumulated in centuries? What if I told you that the answers to some of humanity's greatest mysteries once existed in a single place, a place so powerful, so vast, so ahead of its time, that scholars believed it held the knowledge of the entire known world? What if the cure for cancer, the secrets of flight, or the path to eternal life were all sitting on the shelves? And then, they all vanished. This is the story of the Great Library of Alexandria, humanity's first attempt to collect all knowledge in one place. And its destruction is one of the greatest tragedies in human history. It all began in 332 BCE, when a 25-year-old conqueror named Alexander the Great founded a city that would bear his name. But Alexander didn't just want to build another city. He wanted to build the capital city of the civilized world. After Alexander's death, his general Ptolemy I seized control of Egypt. But Ptolemy understood something crucial. Military might was temporary, but knowledge was eternal. He would build something that would outlast any empire. Around 295 BCE, Ptolemy's vision became reality. Rising from the harbor district of Alexandria was a complex unlike anything the world had ever seen. The Great Library and its companion, the Museum, or Shrine of the Muses. This wasn't just a library. It was the world's first university, research institute, and cultural center combined. Scholars from across the known world flocked here, drawn by royal patronage and access to humanity's greatest collection of knowledge. But the Ptolemies had an obsession that bordered on madness. They wanted every book, every scroll, every piece of written knowledge in the world, and they were willing to do anything to get them. The Ptolemies implemented what might be history's first systematic piracy of intellectual property. Every ship that entered Alexandria's harbor was searched, not for weapons or contraband, but for scrolls. Any scroll found was immediately confiscated, taken to the library where professional scribes would make copies. The original stayed in Alexandria. The copy, if you were lucky, it might be returned to you. But the harbor searches were just the beginning. Ptolemy III once borrowed the official copies of the works of Aeschylus, Sophocles, and Euripides from Athens, promising to return them. As a requirement, he deposited 15 talents of silver, equivalent to millions of dollars today. Athens never saw those scrolls again. Ptolemy kept the originals and sent back the copies, forfeiting his massive deposit. To him, possessing the authentic works of the great dramatists was worth any price. Through purchases, copying, theft, and coercion, the library grew. Conservative estimates suggest it contained 400,000 scrolls. More optimistic scholars believe it held up to 700,000, representing virtually every significant work of literature, science, medicine, and philosophy from the ancient world. But the raw collection was only half the story. The library's true power lay in what happened when the world's greatest minds gathered in one place. Within the library's walls, human knowledge didn't just accumulate, it exploded. This was where Euclid developed the mathematical principles that we still use today, where Archimedes discovered the laws of physics that would remain unchallenged for centuries. Here, Eratosthenes accomplished something extraordinary. He calculated the circumference of the Earth using nothing but shadows and mathematics. His result was accurate to within 2% of the actual measurement. While Europe still believed the Earth was flat, scholars in Alexandria were mapping the heavens. Hipparchus catalogued over 800 stars and discovered the precession of the equinoxes. Aristarchus proposed that the Earth revolved around the Sun, 1,800 years before Copernicus. In medicine, Herophilus performed the first systematic dissections of human bodies, mapping the nervous system and distinguishing between arteries and veins. His work wouldn't be equaled in Europe until the Renaissance. But the library's greatest achievement was creating the world's first global culture of learning. A Jewish philosopher could debate with a Greek mathematician, while an Egyptian priest shared astronomical knowledge with a Persian scholar. For nearly 7 centuries, the library stood as humanity's greatest monument to the power of knowledge. But empires rise and fall, and even the greatest libraries are not immune to the forces of history. At its peak, the Library of Alexandria contained the dreams of every civilization that had ever existed. But what goes up must come down. War, religious fanaticism, political upheaval. The forces that would destroy humanity's greatest treasure were already gathering on the horizon. The question isn't whether the library would fall, it's how much of human knowledge would be buried with it, and whether we learned anything from its destruction. What happened next would change the course of human history forever.